All right, let's talk about refinances and specifically zero cost refinances. This is a two-pronged approach or two-pronged video to where people always ask me, how can I position you to skip 2 months payments? And how can I effectively tell you I'm going to be able to give you a refinance that costs you zero? I'm going to show you simple black and white math. I'm also going to show you the gimmicks that are out there where you hear or see the advertisement where the lender says, hey, we're going to pay your closing costs. It's a bunch of BS, people. There's no free lunch. The last time I checked, the state of Tennessee, state of California, Alaska, New York, Florida, they all require you to pay what's called transfer taxes on your mortgage. They also charge you to record your mortgage at the courthouse. There's also title companies involved. There's also appraisers involved. There's no free lunch. There is cost associated with every single refinance. So if a lender's sitting here telling you that they're going to do it for free, you're paying for it. You just don't know it. I'm going to show you. First, let's jump into the basics here and set our baseline. So we're going to use in this scenario a property with a $700,000 value, a loan amount of $500,000 with a current mortgage of 7% on a 30-year term, and the fully escrowed payment is $38.96.31. So taxes, insurance, the whole 9 yards. So let's undo this real quick. And now let's go into the standard refi. So now we have a 6% rate that we're going to do, and this is just for illustration purposes only. The numbers are pretty dialed in. I've rounded them just a little bit for illustration purposes, so it's easy math, but this is pretty tight. So closing costs on this loan is around $8,000. So we're going to take you from a $500,000 loan to $508,000 to build it in. You got a 6% rate. You're going to drop your payment to $35.15, which is a monthly savings of $380. Okay, that's all pretty straightforward and easy. So now, if you turn around and say, I want to pay my closing costs at closing, I don't want to roll into my loan. No problem. So now you got a $500,000 loan amount, same 6% rate. Now your payment's a little bit less because you're not financing that 8 grand, and now you've increased your savings from 380 to 428. What you've got to figure out is if you're really concerned about this $50. If you're not concerned about that $50, or you don't know if you can bring this 8 grand to closing, then roll it into the loan. It's not that big of a deal. Now, let's take it one step further. Our strategy and our payment protection program. We're going to advise you, unless you're comfortable bringing the cash, it still works either way. But we're going to illustrate it as we're going to roll the closing cost in. Same 6% rate, payment still the $35.15. Now what you see here is a negative $8,933. What we're going to show you to do, or teach you to do, coach you to do, is, let's say you're refinancing in October. Your first payment is going to be due, or we're refinancing, we're going to close the 1st of November. Let's do it that way. We're going to tell you to skip your November 1st payment. We're going to tell you to skip, we're going to position you to skip your December 1st payment. By your contract and your mortgage, you will be able to do this. Your first payment is going to be January 1st. We're going to coach you to take that November 1st payment and set it to the side. We're going to tell you to take your December 1st payment, set it to the side. Take that money and send it in with your very first payment on January 1st. When you do that, you're going to pay your closing costs back down off of your loan through a principal reduction, and your balance is going to be back to $500,000 or less like it was prior to the refinance. They're like, Mike, that sounds too good to be true. How do you do it? Let's come back over here. Simple math. Your payment's $38.96 per month. Let's just round that up for simple math right now to 4 grand. That's $8,000. We've already established we're rolling in $8,000 in cost to cover your closing costs. The extra difference of $900 is the fact that under our payment protection, we're going to waive our lender fees. So when I sit here and tell you I can refinance you and position you to skip 2 months payments, we do it all the time. And this is how we're going to turn around and put you in a position to where you will effectively pay your principal balance back down to where it was prior to you refinance it, and you've gained the lower rate and the lower payment, and it's a win-win. It's simple math. It's not complicated. You can do the same math on a basic calculator. So let's take that one step further and let's jump into that scenario that we were talking about earlier where lenders sit here and tell you, hey, we're going to cover your closing costs for you. That's a bunch of crap, people. Don't fall for it. Again, there's no free lunch. So same $508,000 loan amount, but where they're going to get you is you're going to have a slightly higher rate. Instead of 6%, you're going to have a slightly higher, maybe 6.25, 6.375. And your payment's going to be slightly higher. And what they're doing is charging the higher rate to cover the closing cost on your behalf. So they're paying it through the fact that you're paying a higher rate than you should, but it's being marketed to you as if they're covering it all. You're paying it. Again, there's no free lunch. So now you've got a savings of 257 versus what we would give you of $380,000 or 380. Geez, that'd be great. Versus $380 per month savings. So if you want to fall for the scheme and gimmicks, do that online thing. And it's going to cost you a lot of money and you're not going to get the savings you really could get. Whereas if you follow our lead, we're going to help you maximize that savings. And again, if you're comfortable bringing in the payment of the $8,000 at closing, you just simply pay yourself back. When you take that November 1st payment, pay yourself back. December 1st payment, pay yourself back. And now you're going to have a savings of $428 per month. So a lot of moving pieces, but it's literally that simple. Literally that simple. But call me. We'll go through this with you specifically with your unique situation. If you got a quote from somebody else, you just want another honest opinion, we'll do a side-by-side comparison and show you the numbers. Just like we're doing here, we'll put in that online quote or that other mortgage lender's quote and put in the numbers we can do. That way you can see what deal makes the most sense for you. So if you got any questions, let us know. Otherwise, have a great day.